the Charlotte Hornets are in a very interesting position right now. They draft LaMelo Ball, who is arguably the best player in this year's draft, on top of the fact that they acquired veteran free agents like Gordon Hayward and Bogdan Bogdanovic and just a bunch of quality pieces to help fill the void on this team. Just looking at where they are, and they have Terry Rozier and PJ Washington, Cody Zeller. Do you think that this team has what it takes to compete in the East with the likes of the Nets, the Celtics, the Heat, and the Bucks?
Not this year. I think that the Gordon Hayward move is it's detrimental, because you sign Gordon Hayward, who is a variable asset. You don't exactly know what you're getting out of him, if he can even stay healthy. And when he is healthy, is he putting up 20, 25 points a game, or is he putting up 10 points a game? You don't exactly know. The roster that they're building around LaMelo Ball isn't ideal. You have a lot of smaller guys. You don't really have the big body guy that LaMelo Ball needs to feed the ball. I mean, he's going to want to drive to the basket, kick the ball out to somebody in the corner, or he's going to want to drive down and toss it around his back to somebody who's in the paint, work those pick and rolls. There is nobody on this team to do that. Gordon Hayward is the best player opposite LaMelo Ball, and I don't think that this is a great fit for LaMelo Ball's start in the NBA. I think there were better options in free agency. They missed a lot of them. They should have gotten a big body that LaMelo could work with. And this is exactly the reason I couldn't stand LaMelo Ball being drafted by the Charlotte Hornets, because this is the worst possible scenario for him to be in, where he can't thrive. The only way he is going to thrive is when he has a better surrounding cast, and he is definitely not getting it in Charlotte.
Yeah, I need to make an amend for what I said. I said Bogdanovic.
You did.
When I talked about the Hornets. He is with the Atlanta Hawks, not with the Hornets. I do know what.
Now, if that was somebody they had got acquired in free agency after that whole trade debacle with the Kings and Bucks, who knows how this would have worked out. But if Bogdan and LaMelo had hooked up, that would have been a much better situation than what LaMelo is in right now.
I agree, but I think LaMelo Ball is the best player on this team.
Oh yeah,
and that pains me to say, because I do not like the Ball family.
Oh my God, LaMelo's the best.
Listen, I know I'm a minority when it comes to that, but the fact remains, I can't stand LeVar. I can't stand LaMelo.
You're just
Alonzo's
a hater.
Lonzo's the only one I like, and I don't think he's that good.
Because he's the quietest. And
hey,
LaMelo's the most outspoken. It's gonna be great. I can't wait for it.
Well, okay. So anyway, just coming back to Charlotte, Terry Rozier was overpaid. I don't think there's a question about that. To get him away from Boston, which wasn't going to take much, they gave him damn near a max contract. And that was absolutely foolish of the Charlotte Hornets. Then, to get him away from Boston, they got Gordon Hayward. Again, wasn't going to take that much, but they overpaid to get him. You overpaid two players that have struggled since leaving Boston, right? Or one that was in Boston struggling. And then you add LaMelo Ball to this. You have Miles Bridges, PJ Washington. Cody Zeller is not really a good big. He's good on the boards, and he's good defensively, but offensively he lacks a lot. He's not going to be able to. He's going to be a detriment more than he's going to help you. This Hornets team finished 8.5 games back of the Orlando Magic last year for the 8th seed. They were 10th, but they were in the mix of the Chicago Bulls, the New York Knicks, the Detroit Pistons. I mean, a lot of the Atlanta Hawks, the Cleveland Cavaliers, some of these teams got a lot better. I think they got better than Charlotte did. So to see the Charlotte Hornets competing for a playoff spot would actually not make sense to me, because you still have Milwaukee, you still have Toronto, you still have Boston, you still have Miami, you still have Philadelphia. Don't forget, Brooklyn now has Kevin Durant and a healthy Kyrie Irving. The Orlando Magic have another year under their belt. You have the Indiana Pacers that can't be overlooked. The Washington Wizards now with Bradley Beal coupled with Russell Westbrook. There's a lot left there. This is going to be very difficult for the Charlotte Hornets to be able to compete in the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, and those teams that you just named at the end, those are the teams they'll be competing with, the Washington Wizards and the Indiana Pacers. Those are the teams that are sizable competition to the Charlotte Hornets. When you talk about the top tier teams, the Raptors, the Bucks, the Heat, the Celtics, they are going to obliterate LaMelo Ball and the Charlotte Hornets. There is nobody that can't be covered on the Charlotte Hornets. LaMelo Ball can only do so much as one person, and the rest of the East has faced Gordon Hayward for the last few years, so they know what they're going up against. It's not like they're throwing in some big, chess moves that are really going to tilt some teams and some of these games they're going to play. I just don't see the Charlotte Hornets having much success this season.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I think there's still a lot to left to be desired when it comes to the Charlotte Hornets. I think the East has a lot of competition right now. That even without a lot of quality additions, that the conference got much more difficult just on the progression of the players that are already there. Boston is now going to lean on Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown on top of the draft that they had. You have the Toronto Raptors, who were able to retain the services of Fred VanVleet and everything he was able to do. Pascal Siakam looks great in Toronto. Milwaukee, if they can make a trade for James Harden, that could be huge for the franchise. It'll be interesting. Miami was in the finals last year. I mean, all these teams have so much that they still need to work on, and they're already leaps and bounds higher than the Charlotte Hornets are. So I do not believe they're going to compete this year. I don't even think they're going to compete next year. I think that they still have a lot of work to do on this roster before it becomes complete head to toe, especially on the starting five, let alone with reserves and everything else.